Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of a series that I am starting. As you can tell from the title of the playlist and the title of the video, I'm going to be calling this series Against Degeneracy Soundbytes. I have a special message to my audience at the end of this video, but before I get into that, I will be getting to the theme of this video, which is called Why Free Market Capitalism Doesn't Work. Now, this isn't going to be a broad overview of every characteristic of free market capitalism and why I don't agree with it, or a pro and con list of which ones I do agree with and which ones I don't. This is going to be just focused on one characteristic. I'll probably get to the other characteristics later. And just to clarify, I'm not a socialist or a Marxist or anything like that. I could be loosely defined as capitalistic, but certainly I don't agree with the capitalism that our society has now. And by ours, I mean the United States. Though I'm sure what I'm about to say will apply to many European and Asian and, well, I guess Australia is just one country. I'm sure that this will apply to many other regions as well. Before I get into what I'm going to say, I need to define something for you, and what I'll be defining is advertisements. Now, many of us have encountered advertisements. They come in all sorts of forms. Some of you have probably encountered advertisements in the videos you watched on YouTube before you clicked on this one. Others may encounter advertisements on television, and if you're one of those people, then you're probably a boomer. Other people encounter advertisements on billboards while they commute to work. But what exactly is an advertisement in its essence? Well, an advertisement is a tool to create a market or a demand that did not previously exist in the economy, or at least it did not exist to the same extent. And this is to increase profits for the business that paid for the advertisement. This is a loose definition, but I'm pretty sure it applies to most, if not all, advertisements you will come across. And I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about something that a lot of free market people like Ben Shapiro, Dave Rubin, Jordan Peterson, and others say. And they believe that it's best to leave businesses to be regulated by market forces. They believe that businesses will do right by the people, because if a business does right by you, you'll become more loyal to that business. And of course, these business executives know this. They want to increase loyalty, and they will do so by altering their products. But I was comparing that idea, or at least I was thinking about that idea in respects to advertisements, and I realized that the very nature of advertisements is contrary to that belief. And it's not like these people haven't seen advertisements before, so I don't know how they haven't put this together, but an advertisement in its very essence does not co-align with this, because what these people believe is that businesses will change their product or their service to conform to what the people want. For example, if more people are buying McDonald's burgers than Burger King burgers, it's because Burger King burgers are missing something that McDonald's burgers have. And what would be the best way to combat that? Well, Burger King adopts whatever characteristic the people want. But that's not what companies do. What companies do is that they'll play a Burger King ad with, a family getting together around the table and eating Burger King, or maybe some teenagers hanging out at the beach while eating Burger King. And of course, this is a psychological tactic that is used to appeal to someone's sense of nostalgia or someone's sense of loneliness, because you're probably not going to be hanging out with friends while watching Burger King commercials. You're probably just going to be sitting on the couch flipping through news stations. And of course, this is just one tactic that advertisers use. I mean, they also will go toward TV shows to use a similar manipulative tactic. The way that shows are organized now is very different from the way that shows were organized before. You see, the way shows were organized before, if you want to look at something like I Love Lucy, for example, the only continuity between the episodes was that of the characters. There was very little overarching story development. For example, if you want to take I Love Lucy, watch an episode from the first season and then watch an episode from the third season. Chances are you're not going to be too confused between the two episodes. It'll just be the same characters getting into a different situation, and what happened in the previous episodes will have very little bearing. I think probably the only big change in I Love Lucy, as an example, is the fact that they have a child that they call Little Ricky. But I'm pretty sure that won't confuse you too much. But if you look at something in the modern day like Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, The Walking Dead, if you try to watch an episode from the first season, then an episode from the 5th season or the 3rd season, you'll be very confused because there was an overarching story that you weren't paying attention to. And what is the byproduct of these overarching stories? Well, that is, of course, you develop an emotional attachment to these characters. And you see this with all these overweight, obese women wearing t-shirts that say, "If you kill Daryl, we'll riot." Obviously, these people, and any watcher of any TV show, is developing either a subconscious or a conscious emotional attachment to these characters. So when you see these characters who you view now as friends and family eating McDonald's or hanging out at Starbucks or using a Mac computer, you will feel some sort of urge or some sort of incentive or need to go and copy them, to go and buy a Mac computer or go and get a Whopper or something like that. So obviously we see here that businesses are not necessarily caring about the consumer and conforming their strategies to the consumer, but rather they're employing their strategies to manipulate the consumer, to alter the consumer. They don't want to alter their product to conform to the consumer. They alter the consumer to conform to their product, which is contrary to what, these free market apologists will tell you. Which is why I don't agree with free market capitalism. I mean, this is just one of many things. And I find it funny when I hear boomers and neocons complaining, why are companies so pro-immigrant and pro-foreign labor when that harms the people that they are serving? Well, that's because they don't care about the people that they are serving. They never have. And the fact that advertisements exist show you this. And it's funny, if you want to take a look at some of the commercials that existed around the I Love Lucy period, the 1950s and stuff like that, they were all about the products conforming to the people. Like, I remember I saw this commercial about some kitchen appliances, and it was a stay-at-home wife. Obviously this was from the 1950s. It was a stay-at-home wife, and she was like, "Oh, look at how convenient all these things are. I mean, I used to have to work so hard to take out the trash, but now I have this little mini trash compactor," which I thought was really neat. And the husband's like, "Did you cook dinner?" And she's like, "Oh yes, I did, but with this new stove, I was able to cook it much faster, and now I had time to hang out with my kids." This is a clear example of products conforming to the people. This was something that people needed. They wanted to spend more time with their children. They wanted to have an ease of, waste management. And that's what the companies made. They made products exactly for that. But now you don't see that anymore. You see products exist and advertisements are vehicles that drive people towards them rather than the other way around. I thought that was just something interesting. I thought that was a pretty good way to highlight the predatory forces of the free market and why the free market can't be left on its own, because this is exactly what they do when they're left on their own. So I'm sure there's more of that idea to explore there, and I would appreciate your feedback in the comments, whether it's negative or positive, on what you think about what I just said. On to the announcement that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. If you've noticed, all the live streams I've done are now privated, and there's good reason for that. The live streams I've had, my system can't really run live streaming services that well. They're all very slow and very choppy, so the quality isn't something that I would like to represent myself with. But also, in addition to that, I found out that I'm just not that good at monologuing for an hour and a half. I think it would be easier if I practiced more, and also it might be better if I got someone else along with me to help me live stream. Expect more of these and not so much the live streams. I'll be sharing these videos on my Facebook page as well. Since most of my audience congregates there, they'll get exposure to this. Also, if you're wondering why my Facebook page has become inactive, is because I've been banned yet again for noticing too much. The reason I was banned is kind of funny. I shared a series of paintings, a bunch of art, if you want to call it that was done by a member of our ruling class, and that was popular in a lot of museums and a lot of art museums and art social gatherings. And it was, of course, all pedophilic in nature. I mean, it was literally images of rape that were just painted. And I posted that saying, this is the art that your ruling class enjoys, because it was with the aristocrats in New York and stuff like that. And the funny thing is, I even went out of my way to censor the artwork. And then I posted a screenshot of the Wikipedia article about the artist for people who wanted to know a little bit more about what kind of person paints those things. And I was banned for it. And I went to appeal it, saying, well, this is just art. Why can't I post pictures of art? The appellate system, the appellate system, was conveniently broken and was not accepting appeals. So I find that interesting. But anyways, that's why I'm not going to be posting there, because I've been banned for 30 days. At the time of making this, I've probably have 27, 26 days left, which is fine, because I needed a break from looking at degenerate stuff like that anyway. It is very straining on my soul and my physical health to be viewing stuff like that. But I hope you guys are enjoying videos like this. If you do enjoy them, feel free to like and leave some positive or negative or whatever feedback. I would appreciate that. I won't be putting ads in these videos, so don't expect me to be supporting market manipulation. That'd be kind of ironic if I did put ads on these videos. So I only want your support through your feedback. That's all I really care about. I'm not doing this for money. I will see you guys later. God bless.